Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the world's #1 electric shaver, the Remington. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose articles on Hollywood personalities appear each month in Motion Picture Magazine, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, the wonderful comedian, show business genius, and author, Mr. Fred Allen.
And on my left, Miss Arlene Francis.
That's enough. That is cutting it down, Fred. And on my left, the distinguished Random House publisher and columnist for this week, Mr. Bennett Cerf.
Thank you. And on my left, a gentleman who on Wednesday will be the first native of Johannesburg, South Africa, to ever win a Peabody Award, Mr. John Charles Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line, and Isn't It Nice It's Spring? Once again tonight, we have gathered here in this hallowed chamber some very nice people with some very interesting occupations, as the panel will learn, I believe, to their cost before this half hour is done. We'll also have a famous guest challenger a bit later on, but now let's let the experts meet our first challenger whose line needs to be spotted. Would you sign in, please, ma'am?
As I said, spring is here. V. Sedlmeyer, right?
You know, somebody got away with a piece of chalk once.
Did they?
Not since, though. I see the V. What is it your friends call you?
Vic.
Vic. And is it Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Mrs. Sedlmeyer. Well, Mrs. Sedlmeyer, would you tell us where you're from?
Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. Fine. Now, would you be good enough, since the panel would like to get a closer look at you, to walk down in front of them?
Miss Sedlmeyer.
How do you do?
Nice to see you.
Hello.
Nice night for a walk, isn't it?
All right, Mrs. Sedlmeyer, if you'll come over here, please, and sit down next to me, we will prove beyond any reasonable doubt that spring is in our blood, because we're going to depart from some of our normal practices this evening. We're going to skip the wild guess altogether. We will, however, let our viewers at home know what your line is, and then we'll let the panel do some digging and see if they can figure it out. Mrs. Sedlmeyer, do you know how we score this operation?
Well, I have an idea.
You have an idea. Well, I will dispense with any doubts you may have in your mind and and tell you.
Yes.
Actually, every time you can give the panel a no answer properly, I flip a card. And 10 no's, and you have won the game. All set? Yes. All right, Mrs. Sedlmeyer is self-employed, and let's begin the general questioning with Fred Allen.
Mrs. Sedlmeyer, do you deal in services?
Yes.
You do. Do these services, when performed properly, make people happy?
Yes.
They do. In the pursuance of consummating these services properly done, does that make you happy?
Yes.
If I did what you do, would it be apt to make me happy? Yes or no?
Yes and no.
What?
Yes.
I wouldn't want to be the only one who wasn't happy on a night like that.
I would say this, Fred, so that you're not misguided. I think Mrs. Sedlmeyer has been generous to say yes and no. It would be my judgment that you wouldn't be very happy about it, but you continue, because you might be, you see.
Well, since you come from Florida, do you work out of doors?
Yes.
Does what you do require that you travel from one place to another? While you are traveling, do you sell anything? No, not brushes or cosmetics.
No brushes. No. One down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Is there something unique about the kind of traveling you do? Is it unlikely, let me say, that everybody would do the same sort of traveling that you do?
No.
Well, I would say this with Mrs. Sedlmeyer's permission. This is a double-barrel question. If you are speaking of her moving from one geographical center in the United States to another geographical center, she would use the same sort of conveyance.
I know, but that isn't what I meant, and you know it perfectly well, John. No,
well, you
John.
can't blame me for trying, can you? No.
Well, let me put it a different way then. Do you work in any way for other people's entertainment?
Yes.
Would you work ever in a carnival or a circus show of any kind?
Yes.
Is the kind of traveling that you might do out of something unique like a cannon?
On a cannon?
Out of a cannon.
Out of a cannon.
Into the nowhere or into the here, or however. I mean, could you possibly be shot out of a cannon, like the zucchinis used to be?
I would like to introduce to you by her professional name, Victoria Zucchini.
I just said like the zucchini.
That's right, you did. Human cannon.
I must say that it came to my mind because I had the two Zucchini boys on Soldier Parade, which is another show that I do. Are they your brothers?
Yes, they are.
Oh, really? Well, they were wonderful.
And I'll go beyond that, Arlene. The reason that Mrs. Sedlmeyer wrote V instead of Victoria, she said, you know, my brothers were on Miss Arlene's show, and if they were talking, they might have said something about
Victoria.
Victoria.
They didn't say anything. They said they were shot out of the cannon. They never said a girl. They didn't say anything about having a sister, so I didn't really know it from them.
Well, all I can say is if you can get shot out of a cannon, we can shoot some things out of cannons, too.
Good.
And thank you very much for being our guest. Hope you enjoyed the visit. Well, spring indeed. And now let's see what you can do with another challenger panel. Will you sign in, please, sir? Dean Axine, right, sir? And what is your first name?
Dean.
Oh, I thought you were... Oh, well, never mind. Me, I did indeed. And where are you from, sir?
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. Well, it's real nice to have you with us. And again, if the panel might have the advantage, would you take a small hike down there?
Second Columbus man we've had on, too.
Is it pronounced Axine?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you do?
Axine. Very good. I know that one.
All right, Mr. Axine, if you will, come here and sit next to me. And again, we will dispense with the wild guesses, but let the folks at home know what your line is, as well as our good friends here in the theater. But the panel is going to have to work to find out what it's all about. Are you aware of our scoring system?
Yes, sir.
Do you find it complicated?
Yes.
You do? Well, so do I. So, Mr. Axine is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Axine, are you accustomed to appearing before audiences?
No.
No, I wouldn't think so. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you, does anything that you, does your function involve a product?
No.
No, not in the terminology that we use here. He is not connected with a product as such. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you, by any chance, work for a non-profit-making organization?
Yes. Yes.
Is it any branch of any government?
Yes.
Is it our government?
You mean the
Yes.
New York State government?
No, I just mean the government of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
John, I'm having trouble with you tonight. You work for the federal government?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you find yourself particularly busy at one period of the year more than another period of the year in your work?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think that's so. Actually, that work is spread out pretty much over the year. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
Mr. Axine, you have a very military bearing. Does your work bring you into any kind of contact with the armed services?
Yes.
Would it be one particular branch of the armed services in preference to others?
primarily.
Yes, I would say that it's more than likely, actually, that in his day-to-day work that he would come into closer relationship with one branch than the others.
Might it, by any chance, be the aviation branch? No.
Isn't that? Don't want it.
Okay.
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Axine, do you ever wear, in the performance of your duties, anything different from what you're wearing now?
Yes.
Are you ever in uniform?
Yes.
Then are you a member of one of the branches of the armed services?
Yes.
Are you an officer?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how. I don't know how high is high, but are you something over lieutenant?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen.
You don't own that cannon that Miss Zucchini is I wanted to ask you, John, if you thought that cannon fired faster than Godfrey did. You're not a member of the Air Force.
No.
No, that has been determined that Mr. Axine is not...
Is he rampant on the ground?
Well, actually, you asked if he was a member of the Air Force, didn't you? But previously it was associated with the Air Force, so we'll knock a card over on that. Make it 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you with the United States Army?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, I wanted to add to what Fred said about Godfrey. I understand he's spending the summer at Fire Island. Did you? Mr. Axine, that leaves us the Marines and the Navy. May I take a crack at the U.S. Navy? Are you in the Navy?
Yes.
It also leaves the Marines, though, Bennett.
Well, now, I said the Marines and the Navy, didn't I?
They are a part of the naval establishment, actually.
You are in the Navy. Would it by any chance be the submarine division of the Navy?
Yes.
Have you got something to do with that atomic submarine that has just made its test?
Yes, I think actually we have to throw in the towel because Bennett has gotten, I think, all that is required. I would like you all to meet Lieutenant Dean Axine, Executive Officer of the Nautilus, our atomic sub.
Oh, marvelous.
And this, I might say, as a reporter, is one of those moments, you know, when I'd like to sit here with Dean for about 25 hours and ask him a lot of questions, but I know he'll say, can't tell you that, can't tell you that. Miss Kilgallen.
Perfect casting, too.
Perfect casting, right. Fred?
How do you know when you're submerged if you're in New London?
I look out, and if you see feet, you know you're submerged.
I see.
Lieutenant, is there any way that any members of this panel could take a ride on that ship? I'm thinking of the girls, not myself.
It would be nice, but I'm afraid not at the present time.
We're sunk anyway, I guess.
Yeah. Whoa, my. Lieutenant, it was wonderful to have you with us. We appreciate it actually as an honor, and we hope you enjoyed your visit, because it's nice to have the Navy with us at any time. Good to see you, sir. Well, in a moment, we'll meet tonight's mystery guest, but first, let's listen to Dick Stark with a word from Remington Rand.
This half-bearded man is going to help us show you that the Remington shave is the fast shave. The Remington shave is everything you could possibly want in a shave. For example, this man-sized Remington electric shaver will give you the fastest shave you can get. Now, just watch. Here's Jim Congdon. Jim has grown himself a full, heavy beard and then shaved one side of his face with the old wet shaving method. It took him 4 minutes to get a really presentable shave. Now let's time the Remington shave. You ready, Jim? Go. Friends, there's no reason why you should have to take a long time to shave when you can get a fast Remington shave instead. You see how quickly the Remington is whisking off Jim Congdon's beard? Well, now, that's because the Remington is the man-sized shaver. It has not one, not two, but 3 extra-long diamond-honed shaving heads to give you the fastest shave possible. Believe me, you'll really appreciate that fast Remington shave when you're racing to beat the clock in the morning. How about that now? Just look at that. Jim Congdon is through with his shave already, and it took only half a minute, and his Remington shave is every bit as clean as the old-fashioned shave that took so much longer. But the Remington shave is much more than just a fast shave and a clean shave. The Remington shave is a comfortable shave and an easy shave, too. And you can prove that for yourself. If you will, you stop in at your favorite store or Remington Rand Shaving Headquarters and ask for a man-size Remington. Incidentally, you'll get a $7.50 trade-in allowance on your old standard make electric shaver. So, give yourself the one shave that's fast, clean, comfortable, and easy. Give yourself the Remington shave.
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends in the panel wear blindfolds. And the blindfolds are all in place, are they, panel?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? In the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the general questioning, but we have something new and novel for you tonight because it's spring. We're going to change the rules of the game just to see if we can't confuse you thoroughly. Tonight, we're going to play in an entirely different way. Each panelist gets only one question at a time. 10 no answers, and you still will have lost the game, but you will only ask one question at a time, and beginning clockwise, let's see how we make out with Bennett Cerf starting off.
Well, are you in the entertainment business?
Yes.
Are you,
All right, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you a motion picture actress?
No, I'm not.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Are you active in the theater?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Where are you active in the entertainment world?
No teller.
Are you a circus performer, or would you appear at great nightclubs?
No, I wouldn't.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Well, are you somehow connected with sports?
Yes, I am.
Miss Kilgallen?
Are you connected with a sport that is played in team fashion?
I have to have a conference, pardon me.
I'm sure you'll enjoy every minute of it.
I would say this, we do not want to mislead you. The team connotation here offers some small problems. But we are willing to admit that in the general area, team play is not unknown. So we'll give you a qualified yes, and that makes Mr. Allen up next.
Is the sport played with rackets?
No, it isn't.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Is it played on land?
Yeah. To the degree that we are using very general descriptive patterns here, I think we'll say yes.
It's played on land.
Wait a minute, let me think about it.
I just can't stop.
It's played on land, but...
Well, wait a minute, Bennett. We got to think about this one. It gives trouble. I think we'll say it is not played on land. That's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Oh.
You're next.
You're up in the air, aren't you?
Oh.
Well, is it played on water? Yeah, or in water? Oh, on frozen water. I pass.
Well, I tell you, I think we'll have to give you a yes answer in the general descriptive area of water. Mm-hmm. That makes it Miss Kilgallen.
Well, I trust we've established ice.
I understand it was established long before we got here. Yes, actually,
John,
Miss
you're
Dorothy,
getting absolutely unbearable.
It's spring. That's spring again.
All right. Are you a young, beautiful, skating prima donna? Prima ballerina? Champion?
There are certain areas here where I feel I have a right to make the answers, and I will say a hearty yes to that question.
Thank you.
Are you Miss Scott?
Yes. And I think Miss Scott...
We didn't identify the dog.
Yeah, I was going to ask Miss Barbara if she would please give us an introduction.
Well, this is my poodle, Pierre, who is also in the ice show with me.
Is he lucky, Pierre?
Hello, Pierre.
Does he skate?
Well, he did this year, only he was our only skater
yawning.
without skates.
Do you find this program dull, Pierre?
Oh, he watches it every Sunday. He
Does
just
he?
loves it. We all do in Canada, believe me.
Well, Pierre is a very handsome pup, I might... What, Pierre? I didn't get that. Well, Miss Barbara, I must say we gave him a kind of rough time, I think. And, actually, we tried something new tonight. Did you like it?
I did. I think it's a wonderful idea, only it must make it more difficult for the panel.
That's what we were hoping.
But they hardly ever miss.
Well, we do thank you for coming to visit us, and certainly thank you for... Pierre, don't bite the cable, please. Not because we care about the cable, but we care about you, and it has electricity in it. Thanks very much for being our guest, and would you,
Thank you,
introduce
Mr.
Pierre
Bailey. Oh, I'd
to
love
the
to.
panel? Thanks.
Nice to see you again. He's got red fingernails.
Well, panel.
Pierre had red fingernails. Did you
And
know?
toenails.
Toenails, I mean.
He was ready for color TV, I guess.
All right.
To the dog.
Let's see what you can do with another challenger, panel. Would you sign in, please, ma'am?
Jean Little, right?
And Miss Little, where are you from?
Westbury, New York.
Westbury, New York. Would you be good enough to walk down to the front of the panel for me?
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
All right, Miss Little, here, if you will. Sit down next to me. And while the panel will not have any free wild guesses, we will once again let the folks at home and our friends here in the audience in the theater know what your line is. Meanwhile, making sure the panel works hard to find out. All right, Miss Little, you know how we score, do you?
Yes, I do.
That's
I think.
fine. Good. Then I will simply announce that you're salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Miss Little, I notice you have a beautifully modulated voice. Do you use it in your work? Is your voice part of your job?
No, it isn't.
That makes it 1 down and 9 to go. Miss
Should be, Miss Little. Is there a product involved in what you do?
Yes.
Is it a product that is useful?
Yes.
What do you mean, useful, baby?
What do you mean, useful?
Good.
You mean, is it utilitarian? Because, I mean, we just want to get the class.
Leave religion out of it, John.
I want to... I mean, is it a product that is a nice thing to have around?
Is it a product, nice thing to have around? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be found indoors?
Yes.
Might it be found in a person's house?
Yes.
Could it also be found outside the house?
Yes.
Is it, pardon me, Steve, is it larger than a bread box?
No.
Larger than a bread box?
Mm-hmm.
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would one sex be more apt to buy this than another?
Yes.
Is there anything ornamental or decorative or in the improvement line about this?
Oh, yes.
Is it something that you put on something or somebody?
Put on something or somebody.
Yes.
Well, could I use this product?
Yes.
If I had it on now, would you be able to tell?
You mean from this distance?
Well, not necessarily, John. Just could she tell?
No, what I mean, actually, are you asking the question in the term that if Miss Little were to come over and chat with you, would she know it? Or do you
No,
mean...
could she tell by looking at me that whether I had this on or not, or by sniffing me?
Well, you mean talking to you person to person, could she then? Is that the
Well, if
term?
she asked me, of course she could find out.
No, I don't mean asking you. I mean, are you asking, can she tell
yes.
sitting at this distance
No,
or...
if she were up here, could she tell?
If you were right up there, would you be able to tell?
Possibly. Well, this is kind of a weetsy product then, isn't it?
Kind of who?
Little.
Oh, yes, yes.
That's her name, too.
Would you,
It's a little product, yes.
would you buy this in a store that sells cosmetics?
Yes.
Could a lady apply this herself, or would she have to go to the beauty parlor? I mean, could she apply it herself?
Yes, she could.
Is it anything that you would apply above the neck?
Yes.
Has it anything to do with the eyes?
Yes, it has.
Is it anything like false eyelashes?
That's the product. That's the product. Now, what does Miss Little have to do with these products?
She puts them on.
She puts them on. That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
She uses them herself.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
She sells them?
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Sir.
She manufactures them.
Manufactures or makes is right. I think we'll have to buy that. Now, tell me something seriously. Could you, sitting at this distance from somebody sitting where Dorothy is, tell whether they were wearing false eyelashes?
No.
You couldn't possibly.
Well, I haven't, but once in my reckless youth I had them put on. I practically got tangled up in them.
A lot of people wear them. And
Not in Mirand, you would.
Well, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed your visit. It was nice to have you with us on What's My Line. Good night. It might be noted for the record that this all began with my saying that we had some occupations that would make it painful for the panel. I withdraw the statement. We'll be back in just a moment. But first, here is a word from Remington Rand.
If you could count with electrons and remember everything you're told to do, every second you could solve dozens of accounting problems. Every minute you could turn out days of bookkeeping. In fact, you would be a Univac 120, the punched card member of the Univac family. Does your firm know about this office-size electronic brain, Remington Rand Univac 120?
A product of Remington Rand, famous too for the Remington 60 Deluxe, the world's #1 electric shaver.
Now, before our panel says goodnight, may I remind you to tune in again next Sunday evening at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line. For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series.
Now, for those who prefer a cream, here is new Stop-It Cream Deodorant and Antiperspirant in the swivel case that works like a lipstick. This new twist means no stubborn jars, no gooey fingers, no waste, nothing to wash off. Look for this special display at your favorite drug or cosmetic counter. And remember, Stop-It Cream Deodorant and its anti-immunity factor, the new way to smooth away perspiration.
And now, until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
Good night, Fred.
Good night, Arlene, and wait for me at the mouth of the cannon. I'll be coming out with Miss Zucchini.
Good night, Bennett.
Good night, Arlene. Oh, kiss the president for me in Washington.
I'd like to.
Good night, John.
Good night, Bennett. Good night, all, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Transportation for Mrs. Settlemeyer was arranged through American Airlines. American Airlines, the country's leading airline, now serving the United States, Mexico, and Canada. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Be sure to watch Remington Rand's other television program, Masquerade Party, on another network. Check your local listings for time and station.